Welcome back, everyone. We're going to be solving LeetCode 46, Permutations. We're given an array nums of distinct integers. We want to return all the possible permutations, and we can return the answer in any order. So if we take a look at example 1, right, we're given 1, 2, 3, and they want us to return an array of permutations, right? So we are going to use backtracking to solve this, and this is just going to be a template that you're going to have to memorize. Essentially what we're going to do is we're going to use a helper function, we'll have a base case, and then we're going to have to loop through something. So in order to solve this problem, right, we do need an output array, so we'll grab that. We will say that is going to be equal to res. For backtracking, we usually have a set, so we're going to have s be equal to a set. And now here is the template you're just going to have to remember. So we'll make a function, we'll call it backtrack, and for this function we are going to take in whatever our output is that we're going to eventually return, which is res. And since we're creating permutations of the same length, right, we're going to take in some sort of subset, and on each time we call this backtrack function, we're going to increase the subset. So if we start with an empty subset, right, the next iteration we would add 1 onto our subset, so our subset would just be an array of 1, and then so on and so forth. So in order to exit this backtracking function, we are going to need some sort of base case. Well, the base case for this is we're looking for permutations of the given input array. So 1, 2, 3 is a permutation, 1, 3, 2 is a permutation. So we're looking for permutations of length 3. So that's going to be our base case for exiting. So we'll say if the length of our subset is equal to the length of our given input array, we know we have found a permutation. So we're going to take that subset and add it onto our resulting array. So res.append subset. Now after we do that, we are going to loop through for I in range length of nums. We are going to check, okay, is I inside of our set? Have we used this value yet? So we'll say if I is not in our set, we will add it first. So we'll say s.add I, and then we will call our backtrack function. We will call backtrack, we will pass in our resulting output array, and now we're going to increment our subset array. So if we started with an empty array, now we're going to have subset plus nums of whatever I we're currently at, right? So if we're at 0, we're going to take subset plus nums of 0, which is going to give us 1. So an empty array plus an array with 1 in it is just going to give us an array with just the single 1. So then we're going to run this backtrack, right? We'll hit this if statement. It's not equal to the length of nums. So then we'll go through this for loop again. So you can see what we're doing, right? So after we call this backtrack function, now we're going to take this I value and we will remove it from our set. So we'll say s.remove I. We'll exit this function, and now we have to call it. So we'll call backtrack. What are we going to call it with? Well, we're going to call it with our resulting output array, right? And what do we want to use as a subset, right? We can't just say subset. We have to give this parameter something. So we're going to give it an empty array. And then at the end, we can just return our resulting output array. So let's get rid of some spaces. We'll run this. And we do pass all 3 test cases, so we'll submit. And it does pass. Perfect. All right, so time and space complexity is going to be O of n times n factorial. And the space complexity is going to be O of n factorial. Now, this, like I said, this backtracking is a template you're going to have to remember, right? We generally use some sort of helper function. We'll have a base case, whatever we're trying to look for, and then we're going to be looping through whatever our given input could be. So we're doing for something in range of something, and then adding some values to a set. but we'll do more on this channel. But anyways, that'll do it for LeetCode 46.